G'day, folks. So we just got back from watching Aladdin, the remake of Disney's beloved children's classic, and uh, I'm very happy to announce that Disney completely ruined it.
That's exactly right.
They they this movie was it's hard to describe, but think of Jurassic Park 1 when Jeff Goldblum comes across that giant pile of something. Yeah, this movie is that pile.
Yes. Or as I like to describe it, it was a whole new world of disappointment.
Yeah, see, she's much more articulate and pleasant than I am.
It was bad. It was really, really bad. Like, I am left speechless.
All right, we better get into the details of why it's bad because I think we've just said it's bad, 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 bad for about 2 minutes now. All right, so to start off, the visuals were impressive in this, like the scenery, the deserts, and the city, and even the parrot looked good, which is CGI. That the monkey looked good CGI, and the tiger looked good CGI. None of the other CGI looked good.
The Cave of Wonders looked pretty blah. Pretty blah. It was okay.
Oh, when the lava burst through, that was all right. But
Yeah,
all
all
right.
right.
Before I get to the worst aspect of this movie, I'll start off by saying I didn't mind the guy who played Aladdin. I thought he did all right. Um, how did you feel about his singing?
I was not impressed. I was terribly let down, and I'm really sorry for him, but I feel like they hired a parkour guy off the street.
There was parkour in this movie, folks. That's right.
It was a parkour movie.
So
It was an ad for parkour.
it was very authentic Arabian culture film with parkour, breakdancing, robot dancing, and beatboxing.
And rapping.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and a female sultan.
Absolutely. What more could you want?
The other thing I have to mention again before we get to the most important aspect as to what made this movie terrible is the fact that for some reason Guy Ritchie thought it would be appropriate and necessary during a scene that had pretty much just Aladdin being transformed into a prince. For some reason, Guy Ritchie decided this is where I need a Wilhelm scream. That's right. My wife didn't notice it at the time, but I had to pull my phone out, write a note down to make sure I didn't forget to mention the fact that there is a Wilhelm scream in this movie. If anyone can justify that, please, in the comments, let me know why that was needed in an Aladdin film.
Yes, well, I have no idea. But I would just like to, before you talk about the worst part of the movie,
Right, yeah.
I'd just like to talk about how awkward it was.
Oh, yeah, very, very cringy, awkward,
Yeah,
like weird,
uncomfortable
disjointed. Yeah.
awkwardness. The worst part was when they're at the palace and Aladdin was meeting the Sultan, and it was meant to be a cringy scene, but I was literally sinking down into my seat, wanting to close my eyes and going, "What is this? This is horrible. This is the most awkward thing I've ever seen," and not in a funny way.
Yeah, in that scene, it's after he's transformed into Prince Ali from Ababwa.
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 And and he's trying to explain all the gifts that he's come and brought with him to try and buy the Sultan's daughter, and he's like ad lib. He's obviously his character in the scene is supposed to be ad libbing to explain the gifts because he's never seen them before. But it felt like the scene was actually shot as an ad lib. Like it felt like there was no script to it at all.
But it was like it was forced onto them, and I don't know, maybe they'd just woken up or something. It was really bad. Really
Yeah.
bad. It reminded me of if you've ever been to see the musical Cats, where it's, I don't know, that was talked up for at least a decade before I saw it. And so I went in with high expectations, and then I, had some random people dressed up as cats come and rub up against me and was wondering what I was doing there, honestly.
This was a stage show Cats, was it?
Yes.
Sure this wasn't like a fake one, like with a Z on the end and
Cats.
yeah. Because I don't think the real one they're supposed to come and touch the audience. It's not supposed to be
I
a
didn't.
sensory experience, as far as I remember, like a touch experience.
I didn't think so either, but yeah, that was an experience, I tell you.
The only Andrew Lloyd Webber I'm familiar with is Jesus Christ Superstar, and that's the '73 film. I refuse to watch anything else. But in terms of this movie, all right, I guess it's time to hit the. Before I do hit the blue elephant in the room, honorable mention to the Sultan, who was surprisingly played by none other than Abu Nazir from Homeland. Unless I'm wrong, that was Abu Nazir.
It was him.
Yeah, and it's tough. I got to tell you, he played that role so well in Homeland that it's tough seeing him in any other role. I always think he's up to something, planning some kind of terrorist plot. So part of this movie, I was like, should I be siding with Jafar? Like, is the Sultan up to something? Is he planning a major attack of some kind?
Speaking of attacks, Jafar.
Oh, that was an attack on humanity. The casting of Jafar. And I'm not saying the actor is a bad actor per se, but he didn't suit Jafar. I mean,
no.
maybe it's just me, but when I imagine Jafar, I imagine him like at least similar to the cartoon, where a tall guy, a tall skinny guy who's older, but this guy was like 30 years old, 35 maybe, and he was short, and he was Middle Eastern looking, but he spoke. No, he was Middle Eastern looking, but his voice didn't match his appearance because he spoke like he was some kind of Eton or Oxford scholar, like with this really upper crust English accent.
Yeah, but it sounded like somebody who was trying to put on an accent, and it just came out all wrong.
I kept looking at his hands to see if his pinky was raised in the air.
Oh, I did notice that he had a long pinky nail.
Oh, for a second I thought you said you were going to say you noticed his pinky was raised in a few scenes. Oh yeah, he did have a long pinky nail. He did have a long pinky nail. Folks, just so you know, the long pinky nail, if you ever noticed that on an ethnic looking older gentleman, be of European or Middle Eastern descent, just so you know, so a lovely bit of information, that is usually grown long so they can pick their nose more easier.
I found that out the hard way.
Yeah, just so you know. So you found that out the hard way? Would they pick your nose with it?
No.
Well, how else did you find it out?
You saw it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Was you looking in a mirror?
No. Yeah, I'm a Middle Eastern grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Anyway.
All right, I guess what are we, 9 minutes in and we haven't mentioned the worst aspect of the film yet? Oh, you got something else to delay that?
I just want to go back to Jafar for a second. He was not menacing at all.
Yes, no, he wasn't.
He almost felt a bit cartoonish, as though I don't know, it was some scenes he almost looked CGI. So I don't know. I wasn't scared of him. I didn't feel like he was a threat. I just felt like he was some guy down the street who, had a bird. That's about it.
He sort of came across a guy that had a lot of like a bit of built up tension, if you know what I mean. Been in the desert for a while, no ladies around, Looked like he just needed to let go of his anger a little bit. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't married, so.
Yeah, well, no. Oh.
No harem.
I hope his parrot's okay.
being stuck in the being stuck in the genie lamp. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, time to hit that. We're
Yes.
10 minutes in.
Yes.
All right. Worst aspect of this movie. I hate to say it because I like the guy. I've liked a lot of his movies, but Will Smith, terribly miscast.
Oh,
He
wasn't
looked
he?
the CGI on him was terrible as the genie, and it's weird. Like when I say miscast, I don't mean like you think to yourself, you imagine Will Smith could pull something off like this. He's a larger than life guy. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's very charismatic, but the way they wrote it,
Oh,
his dialogue, the things, his
it was bad.
dialogue, and the way I guess they told him to act it, it was just. And he tried. He tried. You can see he's trying. You can
A
see
plus plus for effort.
he's really giving it a go. But I mean, they're obviously trying to match or emulate Robin Williams, and you just
You
cannot
can't.
do that. That man is inimitable. I believe that's the right word.
If not, it
Inimitable.
is now.
Yeah. And when Robin Williams played the role, he was just being himself. That's how he is. He's just an eccentric sort of crazy guy like that. But Will Smith was trying to be like that. Like it was effort, and you
Yeah.
could feel it. He was trying way too hard.
It would have been a lot of pressure on him, like massive
Oh
shoes to
yeah,
fill,
yeah.
and it just he came so short.
He did,
So far
unfortunately.
short, yeah.
And I mean, look, they should have never remade this because
No.
in the original, in the cartoon, you've got Robin Williams and Gilbert Gottfried doing the voice of Iago the parrot. How are you ever going to top that or even match it? And in this one, they attempted to match those two greats with what Will Smith and just some guy going, "Polly, want a cracker?" Like that was the voice of
Oh,
Iago in this.
yeah.
You're going to replace Gilbert Gottfried with that.
Sounded like a robot version of a
Yeah,
parrot.
it was terrible. It
Yeah, that was really bad.
was terrible. And the
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 CGI was horrible on him.
on the genie, yeah, it was
Yeah,
actually quite creepy too, especially at the
yeah, in the
beginning.
beginning.
He came across really weird. It was almost like he was into Aladdin in a creepy way in the first scene when he came out of the lamp. It really was. Oh, I almost wanted to like watch it through my fingers. Like
It was
that's how bad it was.
it was just a cringe fest pretty much the entire way from the beginning, from the a few minutes in to the final scene. I mean, even to the through the credits, it was all oh
I didn't mind it up until he rubbed the lamp and the genie came out. Up until then, the movie was all right. But as soon as the genie came out, it felt like I was in like another movie. It became surreal, very surreal. I had to look around to see if there was like cameras filming me, like I was on like some kind of camera show.
where,
Like I felt like they
where's
were trying to
Ashton
see,
Kutcher?
yeah, like I was getting punked.
Yeah.
Like I was like some kind of social experiment was being conducted on us to see how we reacted to garbage on the screen.
If this is what Disney is going to be dishing out, I mean, they won't be getting any more money from me.
I don't get it. Like the movie had bits where it looked high production, like $1 billion movie, and then there were other bits where it looked like as cheap as a bloody Bollywood film with cheap
No,
costumes
Bollywood
and
films are high.
no, but like it looked like a cheap version of one,
It,
like just on a crappy soundstage. And I
yeah,
mean, the whole
like
movie was filmed on a
your local
soundstage, but
community center or
yeah,
something.
it did. Like the lighting was really bad in some of the scenes, and it just didn't look right. And that's what was weird. It was so inconsistent. It went from looking really visually stunning
Yes.
to visually average.
Agrabah really, I loved what they did with
The
Agrabah.
external shots of it, yeah,
But even,
on
running
the
through the
ground.
streets,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
loved it. Like
that actually looked all right.
that was the most spectacular looking part for me.
Captured the feel.
Yes. I actually did feel like I was there. Um, but everything else was a massive letdown. I mean, the thing that disappointed me the most was the most important scene of the entire movie, which is the magic carpet ride. where
Yeah.
they fall in love. It just, if you're going to do this movie, you had to nail that. If you're not going to nail the genie, fine, whatever. But you either had to have an incredible genie or nail this scene, this one scene, and they couldn't even do that. The singing was horrible from Aladdin. I'm sorry, he shouldn't have sung at all. But there was no magic. There was no heart.
Yeah. I
It
feel
was
like
just flat.
I feel like that the movie was building to that being the centerpiece of the film. Like that's the most
Yes.
iconic scene from the original,
Yeah.
and it was a letdown. Like they built up to it,
Massive.
and then
letdown.
when it was about to happen, even I got a little bit excited.
Yeah, I
And
sat up in my seat.
yeah, I like
It's
nudged,
yeah,
I
here we
nudged
go.
you, and I was like, it's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to see Athens and the pyramids, and it was Rome in the original. I can't remember, you know, or even I was hoping, fingers crossed, they come down under and show Sydney Harbour or the Opera House or something like that, or Bankstown, but they never did. But they never did. They never did. It was just a flight around Agrabah,
Yeah, which was fine. I mean, that was more realistic than flying across the entire world in
Oh yeah,
the space of
yeah.
5
You
minutes.
said you were yeah, because flying carpets is very realistic.
Yeah, well, it's just like Game of Thrones. You can pick what's logical
I
and
guess
what
it,
isn't.
it set up its internal logic that magic carpets existed in that universe, but that they weren't hypersonic. So I guess they can't fly all the way from the Middle East to Europe
And sing at the
back
same
again
time.
within 3 minutes.
Yes, I'll tell you what. I did like that at the end of the carpet ride. The magic carpet ride. Their hair was all messed up. I thought that was good. They
Oh.
did something to make it look like their hair had been messed up.
That was just probably
something.
It was probably from the cheap plastic hats they were wearing in a different scene, and there was just bad continuity. They've got to fix their hair up when they removed their little plastic hats.
I was expecting something. I was just expecting something incredible, and I was so let down. Honestly,
But I was just remembering before you said that the sets of the streets of Agrabah were so realistic, and I remembered that I was so drawn in. It was so realistic. I thought I could I could even. It was almost like I was there. It looked so realistic. The set, I could even smell the smell of Agrabah, and then I realized that it was just the movie that was shit.
what? What? Wow. The only thing flatter than that joke was this movie.
Hey, we all bomb sometimes. I didn't bomb as hard as the film, though.
No. We're all quality here, folks.
Yeah. That was like Hiroshima.
They're the crickets.
She made me say that joke, folks. She had it written on a paper and told me, hey, read this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would never say something that bad. No. What?
Basically, it was a big hot mess, and it was so far disjointed. You didn't know what was going on. Well, you did know what was going on because there was nothing going on, but it was too choppy. There was no passion to it, and it felt so forced. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to The Lion King now because I don't trust Disney anymore.
And why did they pick Guy Ritchie? I mean, this is the guy that directs London gangster movies, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch. Why is he making a Disney princess movie? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, the other thing I just remembered is the fact that they added a few new songs to this film, or at least one that was played twice in the movie. Since when do you play the same song twice in a movie?
That's because
You obviously think it's awesome, so awesome you have to play it twice.
Well, she was speechless twice.
Right. So in the movie, just to set the backstory for why she sang this atrocious song,
It wasn't that
it
bad.
was bad. It was bad. It was evil.
Oh, God.
Now what happened was,
Evil.
see in the movie,
Okay.
she's this, she's a repressed princess who is told, you're to be seen and not heard, and you're just a girl, and you can't, you're just a silly woman. You don't know anything about running an empire and a kingdom. You must just butt out and let the men run it. That's pretty much, how they portrayed her feeling that she was being left out like that. And so she starts singing this whole song about how I won't be silenced and I won't be told to shut up and my voice will be heard.
I won't be silenced. You can't keep me quiet. Won't tremble when you try it. All I know is that I won't go speechless.
Is it the actual words?
Yes.
Right.
Sorry.
So, it's inspiring stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the worst part is, towards the end of the movie, the Sultan, her father, is stripped of all his power because Jafar gets a hold of the lamp and wishes to be Sultan. So her father is humiliated and dethroned and left there in rags, lamenting the loss of his kingdom. And what does she do? Instead of supporting her dad, she gets up and just starts dancing around and singing about how she won't be silenced and she will never be speechless. It was so out of place. I couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, why is she singing this now?
Yeah, but
Her dad needs her support.
It empowered her to stand up to everybody, and then she spoke to what's his name, Hakim or something.
Oh, Hakim, yeah, her dad's loyal guard who stayed loyal. Yes.
Yeah.
And then her dad was so overwhelmed by his daughter's amazing song that he instantly became a progressive and told her that it doesn't matter that you're not a man, you can be Sultan now. Not even like a female version, like what's a female sultan?
A sultana.
Oh, right. So he didn't even say you could be queen and you don't need a king, right? Which would have made more sense. It's like, no, you're sultan. You're like the man's role now, which was weird. I don't get why they did that. But anyway, look, I can't see this movie pleasing many people. I can't see anyone loving this.
I don't know how the people that came out before us had smiles on their faces. Maybe they were just happy to go home.
That it was over. I can't imagine anyone liking it unless maybe somehow you were teleported from like before movies existed to now, and this was the first and only movie you've ever seen in your lifetime. You might think this is amazing because there's moving pictures on a flat, inanimate screen. That's the only time I think someone would really be blown away by this movie. Because apart from that, it was garbage. It was a real big letdown. Not that I had high expectations based on the trailer, but
Well, I did.
you did. But you saw the trailer, didn't you?
I know, but it looked...
Were your eyes open when you watched it?
It looked fun, and it looked
right.
I like a good Bollywood dance or two.
Yeah.
And
Did you love Will Smith's harem pants in it? Weren't they amazing? Magical? They were almost as good as MC Hammer's, which in 2019 is something you should be emulating. MC Hammer's look from 91. Oh.
It was just terrible.
Yeah.
Our advice is don't go and see it.
But
don't pay to see it.
If you love diversity and you hate white people, there's like only one white person in the whole movie. And he's
a bumbling fool.
Yeah, and he's made to be an absolute fool. So if you hate white people, this is for you.
Anyway.
Yeah. Guy Ritchie,
what
did you do?
Really bad.
Will Smith, come on. Will Smith should be in the new Men in Black movie, not this shit. Instead, they put Thor and his girlfriend from Avengers. So dumb.
He has to stop singing.
Who, Will Smith?
Yes. Please. Please.
He was always more of a rapper, wasn't he?
oh, his voice is not.
And there needs to not be rap in Disney movies too. So no rap, no breakdancing, no robot moves. There shouldn't be Bollywood dancing.
Well, they can do all that. Just make it work. Pick one direction and go with it. Stick with it the whole way
They're
through.
a terrible band.
Let there be.
They should have one good song.
Let there be consistency throughout the movie. That's all we ask. I'm sure we could have enjoyed it if they just picked one direction and followed it through.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was too inconsistent. It was too disjointed, and yeah, it didn't. Yeah,
it didn't deliver.
I'm out of words. So when I'm out of words, it's time to wrap it up.
He's speechless.
Yeah. Oh, I like the song. How cute.
Yes. What would you rate it?
What out of 10?
I'm giving it a 3.
A 3.
A 3. And that's
generous.
Yeah, yeah, that's very generous.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was gonna go like, what's it called when it's like negative to the power of like? No, I won't be ridiculous here. All right, I'll give it a 4. There you go.
Okay.
Thought I was gonna go lower than you.
Yeah, I did.
I try not to be too harsh with movies because like.
I'm not being.
No, I feel like 3 and below is something that I would have walked out of. Like, I didn't walk out of this.
Well, if we didn't have food coming,
it wasn't completely
walked out.
boring. It got a bit boring about maybe 2/3 of the way through. A little bit boring. That's when I did start thinking to myself, "Oh, I hope it's over soon."
Well, 10 minutes into it, I was thinking to myself, I hope it speeds up and something good starts happening because this is not working for me. So.
This movie was no diamond in the rough.
Oh, diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Diamond in the rough.
This movie should have been left in that cave when it collapsed.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. And submerged in liquid hot magma.
If you're still with us.
Yeah. Thank you very much. If you're still with us, it's much, much appreciated. It would also be much appreciated if you left a comment or two telling us we're crazy or telling us how much you agree with us or just
thanking us for saving you an hour at the movies.
Yeah And if you want to chastise,
saving your money.
If you want to chastise me for my egregious joke earlier, I fully understand. It was bad. I apologize to all of humanity and the universe for that. Sorry, Thanos, as well. Don't snap us out of existence.
Chuck a like if you want to see more.
Yeah.
Well, not see, you haven't seen us, but if you'd like to hear any more reviews and...
Yeah, I think we'll put up a shorter, spoiler-free one as well, just to give people a quick idea of how brilliant or absolute garbage the movie was.
Yes.
So, all right, time for the end screen, people. Or what? Oh, what are we at? Almost 29 minutes. Oh, you know how I hate uneven numbers.
Don't you dare.
What? Let it go to 30?
Don't.
We're so close. What else can we... No.
It's not funny.
Why are you laughing then?
So chuck a like, post a comment below.
Chuck a like.
Chuck a like, yeah, chuck it. Just chuck
Chuck
it.
Norris is a good actor. Seen any of his movies?
You're stalling.
There's very good movies. You know he's in his 70s now. I think he would have been better as the genie, to be honest.
Chuck Norris.
Yes. Would have been more convincing as a Middle Eastern genie than Will Smith.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
His face looked really weird.
He's drawing it out.
No.
Yes,
yeah, it was really bad. All right.
Not as bad as the end of this review.
Or my joke earlier.
No.
Okay.
Go on.
All right, folks. Please Let me just say one last thing. This movie was more disappointing than Game of Thrones season 8.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
And that's saying something.
but I wouldn't say Last Jedi. That was worse on the
yeah.
disappointment scale because I expected so much from that. I didn't expect much from this.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right,
I
now
agree.
settle down, lady.
Oh, Kylo Ren, sorry.
Fired up. Well, I think we've got to wrap it up now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Enough.
Please like, share, subscribe.
Oh, you're gonna say my end screen, are you? All right. Time for the end screen. So, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you are so inclined. God bless you all, and we'll see you later. And thanks for listening.
Bye for now.
See ya.